It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why
Sir signed up to be an executive producer, and that's it. As the time progressed,
I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
in this film, she decided that she wanted to be a producer. She started to make edits.
4 years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were seen as Hollywood royalty, the perfect couple with the perfect careers. From blockbuster movies to billion-dollar business ventures, everything they touched seemed to turn to gold. Their playful relationship on social media only made them more beloved, solidifying their image as the fun, untouchable power couple of Hollywood. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. It started as whispers, small rumors about a legal battle involving Blake Lively and actor-director Justin Baldoni. At first, it didn't seem like much. But then, those whispers turned into a full-scale war. And now, after months of legal fighting, Blake has just suffered a devastating defeat in court. Her case has crumbled, Ryan's career is now at risk, and their once flawless reputation is being torn apart. What happened? How did Hollywood's most admired couple end up in a $400 million legal nightmare? And the biggest question of all, is this the end of Blake and Ryan's reign in Hollywood? Let's break it all down. Not long ago,
She wanted to be part of the editing team. There were people hired like human beings.
At times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing. Those
Actually hired to do the editing job, who had done work as editors. She wanted to be part of that team.
Those are the times where you fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were supposed to be creative partners. They were working together on the highly anticipated film adaptation of It Ends With Us, a project that had fans buzzing with excitement. But suddenly, everything fell apart. Seemingly out of nowhere, Blake filed a lawsuit against Justin, accusing him of serious misconduct. The lawsuit was shocking, not just because of the allegations, but because it came with a jaw-dropping price tag, $250 million. At first, it looked like Blake had the upper hand. She had a pristine reputation, a huge fan base, and the backing of Hollywood's biggest names. Many assumed that Justin would quietly settle and disappear. But Justin? He refused to back down. Instead, he fought back harder than anyone expected. Most Hollywood figures, when faced with a lawsuit like this, try to settle and move on. The industry thrives on avoiding scandals, and many would rather pay a hefty price than risk a public battle. But Justin Baldoni took a different approach. He hired Bryan Freedman, one of the most feared attorneys in Hollywood. If the name sounds familiar, it's because Freedman has a reputation for destroying his opponents in court. He's handled cases for A-list celebrities, media giants, and even took on major corporations. And instead of just defending Justin, Freedman went on the attack. He filed a $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and even several media outlets that had reported on Blake's allegations without proper evidence. And that's when everything changed. Blake's lawsuit,
I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not often given authorship. Yeah.
It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to...
Women represent 85% of people making purchases in homes across all categories.
I personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Seen as airtight, suddenly started falling apart. And in the courtroom, the situation went from bad to worse. On February 3rd, Blake's legal team made a desperate move. They begged the court to allow Blake to choose who would question her during depositions. Why? Because they knew what was coming. Bryan Freedman, the lawyer who has single-handedly dismantled some of Hollywood's most powerful figures, was set to question Blake himself. And if there's one thing Freedman is known for, it's destroying a witness's credibility in a matter of minutes. Blake's team wanted anyone but Freedman to handle her deposition. But the judge? He didn't hesitate. Request denied. Blake will be questioned by Freedman. No exceptions. Why is this such a huge loss for Blake? Because it suggests that the judge doesn't believe her case is as strong as she wants people to think. If she had nothing to hide, why would she be so afraid to face questioning? This was the moment everything shifted. But things were about to get even worse. Blake Lively has spent years, building a brand outside of Hollywood. She launched Betty Buzz, a beverage and haircare brand, as her big step into entrepreneurship. But now, that empire is falling apart. Reports surface that Target is quietly pulling her products from shelves. Why? Because return rates have skyrocketed. Customers who once supported her no longer want anything to do with her brand. Her public image, once pristine, is now in serious jeopardy. And the worst part, she may have dragged Ryan Reynolds down with her. Ryan Reynolds has spent years crafting his career into one of the most bankable in Hollywood. He has blockbuster franchises, billion-dollar businesses, and a reputation for being one of the industry's most beloved actors. But now, it all might be in danger. Sources inside Marvel claim that Disney is quietly distancing itself from Ryan. Why? Because Disney doesn't want controversy surrounding Deadpool 3, which is set to be one of the biggest films of the year. If this lawsuit continues to spiral, Ryan could find himself out of the MCU altogether. And if that happens, his career may never recover. Blake's lawyers tried one last move to buy time. They requested a court extension, claiming they needed time to fight another lawsuit in Texas. Sounds reasonable, right? Except they got caught in a lie. Bryan Freedman exposed them in front of the entire courtroom. It turns out that Blake's team had filed the Texas lawsuit themselves. ***, not because they needed time, but because they were trying to delay the inevitable. When the judge found out, he was furious. He denied their request and forced Blake's team to submit their documents immediately. This was the final nail in the coffin. Blake's case was falling apart in real time. So, where does this leave Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Right now, things couldn't be worse. They could be blacklisted from Hollywood. Brand deals are vanishing. Movie contracts are in jeopardy. And if they lose, the Kathy could owe Justin Baldoni $400 million. For a couple that was once untouchable, this is a career-destroying scandal. And the scariest part, the trial hasn't even started yet. 4 years, Blake and Ryan were at the top of Hollywood. But now, they're facing a scandal that could wipe out everything they built. Can they survive this? Or is this the beginning of their downfall? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breaking updates. Because this legal war, it's only just beginning. Fire, stay tuned. This story is far from over. Fire.